Tesla has some big news which can change everything for its biggest feature, but we don't yet know if it is a sign of a disaster or a blessing in disguise. State of Charge host Tom Moloughney will be here to help us figure out which one it might be, and we're gonna start right now. Welcome to E4 Electric. For the electric car news the mainstream media is afraid to tell you, you came to the right place. All you have to do is click on that subscribe button and the bell notification icon so you don't miss anything moving forward. So this is a big one. The head of the self-driving program at Tesla has quit and no replacement was found so far. If you ask most Tesla fans, they'll tell you that two biggest advantages that Tesla has over competition are the supercharger network and the self-driving technology. Now, as I reported last week, the former will soon disappear as Tesla is planning to open up their superchargers to the rest of EV owners across all brands like myself to qualify for a piece of $7.5 billion pie offered by the recently passed infrastructure bill. And the latter, the self-driving technology, may have just taken yet another big hit with the man in charge of the program, Andrej Karpathy, leaving the company with no good official reason. Andrej tweeted that he's left Tesla to spend more time revisiting his long-term passions around technical work in AI, open source, and education. Wait, what? I can't think of a better job for someone who's passionate about AI than heading one of the most exciting, high-profile, and best-funded AI projects, you know, the self-driving tech development at Tesla. It's like my Starbucks barista quitting because he wanted to pursue his long-term passion of wearing green aprons and misspelling people's names. You have a perfect job. Andrej joined Tesla 5 years ago, and only 1 year into it, he became the third person to head the self-driving program in just 2 years after the other two quit. Looks like the other two guys had very compelling long-term passions as well. An executive who you thought was there, but now isn't. I believe that's what they call in AI a false positive. Ironically enough, to avoid the false positives, it was under Andrej's tenure when Tesla made a big move to ditch radars and go with the vision-only concept. While many impressive improvements have been made, including the release of the auto steer on city streets, the new approach seemed to cause a big problem of what's now called the phantom braking, where the car brakes for objects that are not really there, like robotaxis. Now, I know I'm not exactly an artificial intelligence expert, but you don't really have to be an expert to figure out if someone is not making good decisions at their job. For example, I don't have to go to medical school to know that if my doctor has a face tattoo, he's probably not great at making good permanent decisions, and thus I should probably look into someone else helping me with mine. Unless, of course, he is a vet. Hey, that's the only health coverage my cat can afford. He spent all of his money on the full self-driving package. So even though I watched multiple presentations where Andrej has outlined Tesla's approach to vision-only technology, I quickly realized that the concept behind it is kind of crazy. I'll let Andrej explain in just a second, but before that, a quick reminder that this video is sponsored by Electrify America, the largest public fast-charging network in the US that provides the freedom for all EV drivers to go where they need to go, including coast to coast. With over 800 locations across the US, with more than 3,500 individual DC fast chargers nationwide and growing. Download their app to find hundreds of locations and sign up for their Pass Plus membership for discounted charging sessions. Get started using the link in the description of this video. This is what Andrej Karpathy said in support of why vision only is the way to go.
So in summary, people drive with vision only. No lasers are involved. This seems to work quite well.
Wait, what seems to work quite well? People using their eyes with no lasers actually kill like 40,000 of those people every year just in this country. Modeling self-driving technology after people is like modeling a perfect marriage after Johnny Depp and Amber Heard's relationship. Eventually, someone's gonna crap the bed. The notion that the self-driving technology should only use the same sensors as people is silly. That's why we crash so much. But if you watch most of Andrei's presentations advocating for the vision-only approach, you will notice an absence of something pretty important, which may give you a clue why this technology has struggled to be developed at a higher promised pace. You see, in all of the presentations that Andrei has put out there and hundreds of visual examples that he has referred to, I had a hard time finding any involving the conditions where the human eyes aren't very good in, like fog, rain, sandstorm, pitch black, etc. You know what's better than human eyes in those conditions that, by the way, are responsible for a good chunk of those human car accidents? Non-human eyes. Sensors, like radars and, yes, LiDARs. So, why would a guy in charge of what should be a dream job project for any AI expert has decided to leave in the middle of what Elon Musk has suggested was the final stretch of bringing the true self-driving technology to the masses? And why was it in enough rush where his replacement has not been found before he left at this crucial point of the project? Well, the real answer may be hiding in what has already happened once when Elon Musk has shocked some of us announcing this in his interview with the Third Row Tesla back in 2020.
There's quite a significant foundational rewrite in the Tesla Autopilot system that's almost complete.
That's right. 2 years ago, Tesla had to go through quite a significant foundational rewrite of their self-driving software, which really means that they had to admit that the direction they were going in has ran into a ditch and could not scale anymore. Now, there should have been a million follow-up questions to that bombshell of a statement, but unfortunately, much like almost all of Elon's interviews, it was conducted by his fans rather than actual independent journalists, so they, well, literally ate it up. Now, it should be noted that recently, Tesla has actually filed to use this very interesting device. What are we looking at? Well, I'm glad you asked. You are indeed looking at a new radar, which may signal that Tesla is rethinking the obvious, but we do know that Elon is quite stubborn and would not want to admit a defeat. So, on one hand, yet another early departure of a head of the self-driving program could indicate that Tesla has once again ran into the ditch and won't be delivering on all of the promises, and once again will be delaying the level 3 autonomy for longer. However, this could be, and bear with me on this, the best thing that ever happened to Tesla's self-driving program. And I will tell you why. If Elon decides that it is indeed time to have a major change of direction and hires a fresh face that will come in and reshape the program, including bringing back radar sensors and possibly LiDARs, this could put Tesla back in the undisputed lead in the AI development. This could also be, and please allow me to dream, a beautiful beginning of Elon actually allowing someone else run part of his company without his brutally micromanaging style, which many times is cited as a reason for many ex-Tesla employees' exits. For more, as always, we turn to the host of the State of Charge YouTube channel and a Tesla owner himself who did not pay for the full self-driving package, Tom Moloughney. All right, Tom, so this is the third leadership change at Tesla, the person in charge of the full self-driving program. Now, obviously, this is a potential opportunity. You know, probably a new person will have to lead the efforts. Now, at this point, do you think this could be a good thing for Tesla or not so much?
Well, it can go either way, but personally, I think it might be a good thing, and not because he wasn't a good person to be in that position, but I'm always in favor of changing things up, getting in new points of view, bringing in new brain trust, shall we say. And I don't think it's a bad idea to have a new person in that position every few years to kind of give a new perspective and bring in new ideas.
Now, the biggest thing that changed under Andrei's supervision was that Tesla went with vision only, right? Which was originally Elon's baby. Now, we know they've made some really good progress, but at the same time, they also got some problems they didn't have before, specifically the phantom braking. Now, do you think this could be a good time for whoever jumps in as the next leader to possibly reconsider using sensors like radars or maybe even LiDARs?
Well, as I said earlier, I like that's bringing in new people to bring in new ideas like that. But I don't know at this point how easy that would be to integrate a new technology into what they've already put so much effort into. It might need another rewrite, to add another technology in there. So, I mean, it's above my pay grade. So I've always found it odd that they could get to where they want to go with just the use of cameras, but I'm not, a self-driving engineer. I always thought that bringing in as many technologies to help you would be a good idea, but they seem to be sticking with that company line that cameras are all you need. And, I'm just waiting to see the outcome.
Now, so far, Elon has been promoting the new leaders for the program from within the company. Do you think this could be a good idea to actually bring someone from the outside and get, a bit of a fresh perspective?
Yeah, I think it's great bringing in people from the outside. And as I said, getting experience from in other programs, drawing on the learnings that person had working with other systems. I think it's a great idea. But, if there is somebody within that existing team that Elon thinks would be a good leader, then, I wouldn't be against that either. But I always think it's good to bring in people from the outside because they bring in fresh things. They might have an angle on this, a thought pattern that really they haven't explored yet. And I think that's, how you make improvements, by bringing in new people with new ideas.
Now, I know a lot of people, including us right now, we're talking about the back end of the things, right? Who's the leader, what's the technology, what kind of sensors they're using. But a lot of times we forget to talk about the consumers, because that's what this is all about. Now, right now, it's $12,000 to get this package. And, we all know about the delays and issues. This can delay things further. You're right. Maybe there's another rewrite coming. Do you think this is a time for Tesla to maybe reconsider and maybe repackage the full self-driving product and maybe even rename it?
Well, I've never been a fan of that name, to be honest with you. That's not going to happen. Let's face it. We can speculate all you want. It's not going to get renamed. Repackaged, maybe. Come out with a different type of, plan. I know they're offering that plan where you could pay monthly instead of paying all up front. I mean, I think that's the route to go because it's getting ridiculously expensive. And I've bought 2 Teslas and I haven't paid for that because I think it's just ridiculously overpriced. Maybe I might apply for a monthly payment if it gets to the point where I think it's really rock solid and usable. But for what it costs and where the system is at this point, I think it's crazy to pay that money for it.
What would it take you to sign up with and pay for the full self-driving feature? What would be that line when you say, okay, now it's ready and I'm ready to pay for it?
For me, Alex, I mean, I love the basic autopilot that I have on my Tesla Model 3. It works great. I use it all the time. But to go to the next step, I'm not interested in what I'm seeing with videos with people with it driving and you have to stand there and be ready to jump in. If that's the case, if you really have to be constantly watching and ready to take over at any second, then it's not worth it to me. I'll pay for it when I can get in the car and just say, take me to work. and then open up my laptop and start looking at my laptop, not even having to look at the road. Then I'll pay for it. If we were at that point, yeah, then I'd pay what they're asking now. But you know, for where they're at now, asking the kind of money that they are, I think it's insane for anybody to pay for that.
You know what else is insane? If you've yet to subscribe to Tom's channel, but to battle your insanity, I put a link to it in the description of this video. You're welcome. All right, looking forward to all of your comments, sane or insane. I'll see you guys next time, and remember to stay charged.